Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hey, honey, about to come. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, hey, Krishna Krishna, hey, Radhe Radhe, Krishna Krishna, hey, Radhe Radhe, Radhe Radhe Radhe, Krishna Krishna, hey, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Krishna Krishna, hey, Krishna Krishna, hey, Krishna Radhe, Krishna Krishna, hey, Radhe. Hey everybody, welcome. Another day, a rolling ahead with Krishna and Radhe. Yeah. Some new ones for you, some new hits. Another day, we're rolling ahead with Radhe and Krishna. Transcendental speaking. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Krishna Govinda. I'll give you some. I'll give you some tunes, yeah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Oh my Lord Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasari Gaur. Yeah, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Gauranga, Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Gauranga, Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gauranga, Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna.
Thanks for using.
Karuna Sunda. All right. Hey, Haribo. What are you guys doing up so late? You should be in bed. Sleeping like little children. Yeah. All right, let's read some. How about let's remind ourselves about truth, man. What reality really is. So let's read a little. Let's try some Srimad-Bhagavatam. Do a little bit of everything. Maybe. Let's continue where we were left off here. It was so good. So, Srimad-Bhagavatam, this first canto's second chapter, fifth verse. So, O sages, I have been justly questioned by you. Your questions are worthy because they relate to Lord Krishna, and so are relevance to the world's welfare. See, questions, they relate to Lord Krishna. See, so the problem is most questions and most talks people are doing are not relating to Lord Krishna. See, therefore, people don't know what their welfare is. Yeah, what is the welfare? Our welfare is to connect to God. And who is God? Well, he's got a spiritual reality, spiritual potency. He's got this material potency too. We probably know this pretty well out here, huh? Oh, yeah, so easy. The birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees. We all know all about that, right? Yeah. Yeah. How about the birds and bees of Vaikuntha in the spiritual world? We don't know about this. It's all spiritual. Yeah, so questions. So we have our conversations. They relate to Lord Krishna, therefore the welfare of the world. You know, this one little talk that we're doing right here is more valuable than all the bullshit, all the baloney they talk about that doesn't relate to Lord Krishna. You know, on Facebook, all day long, people talking in the illusion, man. You know, in the illusion, especially now, man, everybody's like absorbed in this illusion, man. Yeah, they're absorbed in, you know, look at what's going on, the new world order, reset, you know, big talks about the illusion, yeah, but not how the illusion relates to the truth, you know, how it's just a shadow of the truth. You'd be a lot more neutral and wouldn't spend your old days glorifying the illusion or meditating on the illusion and being like getting sunk in the quicksand. If you see how it's all related to the Lord, you know, he's got the mode of passion, mode of ignorance, mode of goodness. Oh, what a revelation. Thank you very much, Krishna and Bhagavad Gita. So the mode of ignorance and passion is enforced, teaching lies as truth. What's the big deal? Just that's what they do, man. When see in these talks that we have relate to Lord Krishna and how his energy is working in this world. And if you understand that, it's like, oh, okay, great. You know, that's kind of what's happening now. So what do? Well, prepare. You know, have you noticed everybody's, you got to prepare. Prepare for what? Well, you know, your material body may be destroyed. Yeah. So is that the only preparation? You got to store food and save up money. I don't know, whatever else they want to do. All to protect the body. How about prepare by awakening the spiritual body? Now that's a concept. Who's ever thinking about that, Karuna? You know, wake up the spiritual body. Hey, you got a spiritual body. Hey, the Vedas teach us all about that. Oh yeah, how do we do it? By chanting, by associating with people's spiritual bodies who are awakened. Yes. Hey man, prepare for what's to come here. Wake your spiritual body up. Like Maharaj Pariksha, he only had 7 days left. We know we have probably more than that. We've got a whole month, 2, 3, maybe 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, who knows? Yeah. So Maharaj Pariksha prepared by hearing the Bhagavatam, hearing about the truth, which dispels the illusion. The illusion is all over the place, but the truth is just where devotees are having conversations like this. Okay? And so that's how we get prepare, right? Prepare the spiritual body, awaken it, nourish it, make it strong in these times. See, that's being a real spiritual warrior, man. Then you're facing this off without fear. Okay? People are all afraid now, basically because they don't know that they're immortal, they're eternal, and they have a relationship with the supreme source of all. Some people call God, Krishna, Christ, like this. That's our relative, our true relative, our true benefactor, our true father, our true mother, our true friend, our true beloved, everything. Radha and Krishna, devotion to the Lord, that is us. is our spiritual body is very just naturally devoted to the source. Represents the source, even in this material world of illusion. Okay? So I think we're doing some good preparation even here right now. What do you guys think? Yeah, let's prepare, man. Prepare for what's coming, man. Let's get protection. Okay? Let's get Krishna's protection of Govardhan Hill, the pastimes of the Lord, the absolute truth. Protect us. So, only questions of this sort are capable of completely satisfying the self. People are trying to satisfy the self all day, everywhere. I could walk down the street here and go into the they call it Fifth Avenue. And there's all people trying to satisfy the self, but it's the wrong self, man. It's the reflection. It's like, yeah, me, give me, let me pleasure my senses. And all that does is end up burning out. Everything's excess here, especially in these places. Excessive pleasures. Drink too much, eat too much, have too much sex. Everything too much because you're trying to pleasure yourself and it doesn't get quite satisfied. All you do is end up getting tired and burnt out. At some point, or you burn out the body and then you got to take another one, and you're so attached because we've overly cultivated pleasuring the senses, and nobody knows. Right here in Bhagavatam is only questions of this sort. See, questions, comments, talks related to Lord Krishna and who we really are. So that we can get reconnected with what's the truth and satisfy that true self. Okay? And then from personal experience, not just from the book. See, the book says, so the only questions this sort satisfies the true self, right? And any materialist, I was like this too. I would say the next question, well, what's that to me? To satisfy the true self out there, over there? So what's that to me? I can go out here and have a beer, I can go out here and eat myself and pleasure myself. I can go down to prostitutes over here. See, so what is satisfying that true self to me? Now that's a good question for the selfish person, right? Now, can you relate to that, people out there? Well, let me tell you why. There's a reason for this. See, that true self is our real self. See? And that true self-satisfaction is 100 times more strong and more satisfying than we're trying to satisfy our little senses out here. Okay? So it's what people are going out into this world to satisfy themselves. See? And that's why this is called Maya, Mahamaya. See, this is the truth about Maya. See, people need to know this. If you know this, then you know kind of the way the magician is working. And then you don't have to go after his tricks. Because his tricks they're tricky and they don't work. They work very well to distract you. Like how it's going on in the world. They have all these distractions from what's really going on. Well, yeah, that's going on this level too. There's all this Maya, Mahamaya's distractions distracting us from what is really going on the spiritual dimension of consciousness, which is more satisfying to even us when we're connected to that. And empowering instead of disempowering. Enabling instead of disabling you, crippling you. Okay? Satisfying the true self is more of everything good. Better than good. Yeah, you become more intelligent, you become more free and sovereign. See, when we are satisfying the true self, just simply by these kind of discussions, by chanting the names of that Lord. That's where you usually begin. Then you start to feel, wow, I like chanting this name of God. Whoa, I don't exactly know why, but I feel better than I did before. Yeah, because before you were burning yourself out trying to overly satisfy your senses beyond what you really needed, because you don't know you really need this. You really need to satisfy who we are, our spiritual benefactor, actually. And actually, you can only do that on a spiritual dimension. Therefore, you need to go into a society of those who are woke up already, the real wokes. Not these wokes in the world. You think this is woke going around thinking, well, look at me. I'm woke, man. I'm really bodily conscious, materially bodily aware of my body. No, being woke is, hey, are you woke to your spiritual body? What's that? Would you like to be? Yeah, we'd like, well, come into a bunch of wokes. Hang out with the wokes here. We're woke, and we awaken every day. Not only ourselves, but our brothers and sisters. See, these talks relate to Lord Krishna. Therefore, the devotees speaking are enlivened. And if you're really listening attentively, you start to like, whoa, man. I didn't know before I was listening to all these talks that aren't related to the spiritual body, my spiritual body that's dormant or awakened, and also its relationship to the Supreme God, who is transcendental and spiritual and is actually reasonable, not the God they preach in religion. The religionists don't know that Lord very well that they worship. You got to find woke people. People are woke to their spiritual form, man. And you can see it's different, it's special, it's unique. It's empowering, it's purifying. It's like, whoa, man, being around people like that, I'm getting a special experience of life. And after a while, you don't want to be around disempowered persons. Disembodied people are the people in the world. They're disembodied. Did you know that? You think, no, disembodied is a ghost. No, that's all ghosty now. It's all ghostly in the world. They're all disembodied. You know why? Because where's the spiritual body? Where is it activated? Where do you see the symptoms and signs? See, that person that's activated, their spiritual body's activated. There's a great, tremendous energy there, purity there, clarity there, logic even, and bliss, happiness, different than what you see in the world. Yeah? An effulgence. Not a darkness. You ever go walking and you repeat? You notice you go into bars, it's dark, isn't it? So you go into the darkness. When you're around people who are awoke, the real wokes, you start to perceive, wow, there's a special light there. You may not quite perceive it with your eyes, but you're perceiving something special. You see, wow, this is real knowledge. Wow, this information I've never gotten from all these dark persons out there living in darkness of the world. See, the world is dark. You think that's all you're seeing? You'd see in the sun reflecting on objects is still darkness. See, this is light. These talks are light. See, these questions are light. These answers are light. Why? Because they relate to Lord Krishna, the Supreme Lord, one of his forms, one of his best forms, the form of Vrindavan form, where he's very intimately relating like a regular person with his friends. That's the greatest conception of God. The Christians don't know about that. They think he's some, being with a big beard and, at the right hand of Jesus, and some other idea, and it's very kingly and stuff like that. But the highest conception of God is this Vrindavan. See, this you learn in these kind of talks. Vrindavan is very close, very intimate, like the Garden of Eden explained. How would you like the Garden of Eden explained? That's Vrindavan. See? Oh yeah, that's how it is. That's how the Lord is intimate with his devotees there, like Adam and Eve. This is what's going on. He's not just a voice saying, hey, do not eat from the tree of good and evil. Your knowledge of good and evil. See, in Vrindavan, they don't eat from that tree. They don't care about good and evil, right or wrong, rules or regulations. All they do is love God. That's what we teach here, how to love God, man, because everything is in that protection, happiness, closeness that we're looking for that we don't get in the world. You want to be close to somebody, right? See, this is illusion. This is how the Maya works, man. You want to be close to somebody, and I'm lonely. I want to be close to somebody, but that body is not you. That body is not them. It's like I want to be close to somebody. You get a microphone and a glass thing, and there you go. There's your closeness in the world, man. It's not you. We want to be close to God. See, we have a spiritual body, needs to be awakened. Come here, my friends. Yeah, well, that's what we do. Awaken the spiritual body. Get an experience that will revolutionize your experience of life. Your whole life will be successful. You won't even, you'll wonder, why do I feel so great? Well, your spiritual body is awakening because you're around woke people. Spiritually woke, not materially. So, this is fantasy of wokeness. Some people still on the level of mind. See, the people that are woke, you're on the level of bliss. You've transcended the material body, consciousness of the material body. You're conscious of this, and you've transcended the material, emotional body that is jerked around by all these persons that are controlling the demoniac persons right now. They control your emotions. They control your mental mind. They program you with TVs and mainstream news because you're on that level of the mind. You're meditating there, so you're susceptible to their influence, that energy in the modes. If you want protection, come here. We'll give you protection. You want to really live? Come here. Associate with woke people. Their spiritual bodies are awake. You want to feel happy again? I mean, really happy, and the happy that lasts? Come here. Get purified. Maybe that's why Tarantino liked girls' feet so much. Tarantino, okay. Whoever he is. Jesus had Radha foot. Okay. I'll analyze that later. Okay. So purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada. Since it has been stated herein before that in the Bhagavatam the absolute truth is to be known, the questions of the sages of Naimisharanya are proper and just because they pertain to Krishna, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, in the level of religion, people don't, like Vaishnavas. Yeah, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Oh, what is this Supreme Personality of Godhead? What is the nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? See, that's a question. See, I just asked the question. Good question. Who and what is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? How can we identify that Supreme Personality of Godhead? Since nobody asked, I'll ask. Now, isn't that a good question? Okay, Supreme, because it sounds foreign, like a foreign language. So you'd have no contact with this philosophy, and then you hear something like the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What the heck does that mean? Yeah. Supreme Personality, what the God is. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is that God? Yeah. So what is this God's nature? He's a Supreme Personality. What? God has a personality? Yes. See, the Vedas teach God has a personality, but his personality is transcendental. It's only perceived by the wokes. You have to be woke. You can't be the natural man. You have to be supernatural. Okay? Supernatural means your spiritual body is awakened. Would you like that? Would you like to be like a Superman? Supernatural? And it's supernatural too. It is supernatural to love God. It's supernatural to know God. It's supernatural to experience that Lord as your friend. But you got to be woke first. And that means how do you get awoke? Another good question that pertains to Lord Krishna and your benefit, my benefit. So how do we become awoke, the spiritual body awoke? Association with devotees here, like here. There are a lot of woke persons here. So, yeah, and then Supreme Personality of Godhead, he's a person. Yeah, you can actually perceive that Lord spiritually. When your spiritual body is awoke, you can perceive his spiritual body. Yeah. His personality. He's got qualities. See, these qualities are all listed in these books, and you can relish these qualities. You can taste them. Literally, spiritual body has a tasting mechanism. It's inside the tongue somewhere. And you taste it by chanting these words. These words are like food for a devotee who's awoke. Jesus was awoke. He would preach about God, the kingdom of God, you see? And he was tasting and he was energized and getting real life. And how'd you live? Eat this kind of food. This is called the bread of life. What do you think Jesus meant? I'm the bread of life. See, truth. Hey, that's who God is. He's this truth. Well, let's take religion out of the Bible, take it out and just put pure truth there. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God. And the Word was God. And is God. It always will be God. The Word, but what Word? Is it the word of people in the world? Look, you notice a lot of people, the TVs are talking, programming, right? Talking. There's words coming out of there, right? There's a mainstream media, words coming out, usually the same programming. Television, let us tell you some words, man. And people start acting according to those words. Words, Time to mask off. Okay. Go jogging with a mask. Okay, I'll do that. Go exercise with a mask. Okay. See, it's a word. See? And is that God? Yeah, it's your God, right? You believe in that word. See? So, but why do we follow that? Why do we follow that word? That's a good question. I'm glad you asked. Hey, Karuna, I forgot. I can ask questions and answer them. Says I don't have anybody asking up here. I'll ask them. Yeah. So that's that's God. How is that God? Well, God, according to the Vedas, see, this. If you study the Vedas, you come here. We'll teach the Vedas. We'll teach you secret knowledge that nobody knows, practically. Only a few people. Only a few people know. Yeah, that's God, actually. He has this external form. It's external, see? And it's dark. It's a shadow. It's his shadow of the light, of the true light. See, when you start to become awoke, then you start to understand that, I see, you learn these things, that, I see, the Lord has a light body. See, it's full of truth, deep truth, essential truth. He's got that kind of body. See, it's full of bliss, emotions, spiritual emotions. They're fantastic. You can see them here. You come here regularly, you see people have their spiritual bodies are activated. They have spiritual feelings. They're blissful. They're ecstatic. They're wonderful. See, so that's the Lord's body as a spiritual body full of bliss and ecstasy and rapture, good feelings, good vibrations, transcendental vibrations. They purify the whole world. Okay? But God also, see, and God also has a dark body. That's the world. It's a shadow, and people they're listening to the shadow, the reflection. See, and it's dark. It causes a darker experience of life, a twisted one, unclear. See, and so the word is God. So the God has a shadow. See, some people call it the devil, or in the Indians, in the Vedas, they call it Maya, or is it not the devil? Maya, illusion. See, it's just twisted. It's a dark semblance, like a facsimile of the absolute truth. The shadow casts a shadow. So. We, as living beings, are meant to live on the Word. So people right now, generally, they don't know about the Word of God, that the God, the truth God, the eternal Lord. Because if you listen to the words coming from the Scriptures without the religious part, just pure truth is the best, without speculations and all that. And you hear that word from a living, woke person. Their spiritual bodies awoke. They get a clear understanding of that word. Okay? So if you listen to the word coming from that God, the eternal God, see, this one causes you to be in darkness and to take this cycle of birth and death. And the Vedas teach these things too. See, you go through cycling and birth and death and birth and death. But if you listen to this word of the Lord, the true Lord, the eternal Lord's words, that comes through scriptures, especially the Vedas are very good. They're very clean, very clear, like the devotional scriptures that were written down by actually Lord Chaitanya's associates, many of them. They come in a disciplic line like ours here. And so then you're hearing a word that causes you to wake up, experience your eternality, and you start to have a new source of energy, a new source of food spiritually. Just by chanting, you're like eating food, you're getting more empowered, more purified, see, more happy, more intelligent, more logical, more free. Now, that's a good deal, isn't it? And that's all can happen when you're around woke people. Really, spiritually woke people can teach you all these things. That's what we teach here. And the best news is free, no charge. Now, why wouldn't you want to be immortal? See, these people are trying to be immortal in mechanical ways and dealing and trying to do it with the help of the darkness. Their knowledge is not very good. It doesn't matter how intelligent you are. All this knowledge in this material world is dark compared to this knowledge. The knowledge of God, of this God form, this eternal form of the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is eternal. It's beautiful. It's essential. It doesn't fill your brain with a bunch of stuff in there. It doesn't weight you down. It lifts you up. It looks like we're really selling this Supreme Personality of Godhead today. You got any buyers out there? Yeah, we reduced the cost. No charge. Just come here. Well, a little charge. Get charged up. Come here every day. Get charged. That's the charge, is to get charged. Get your charge. Right there, Karuna. Just get your charge. Bullocks. Yeah, 100% free. It's amazing, yeah. I love it, man. So the questions of the sages, Naimisharanya, are proper and just because they pertain to Krishna, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth. In Bhagavad Gita, the Personality of Godhead says that in all the Vedas, there is nothing but the urge for searching after him, Lord Krishna. See, so thus the questions that pertain to Krishna are the sum and substance of all the Vedic inquiries. See, and so if you're around woke people who are awake to their spiritual body, awakening, then you can also get this urge to, by their association, to seek after the truth, eternal truth, because it's very enlivening. And so you get enlivened being around enlivened person. It's like getting a boost, like a boost. You ever jumpstart a car with a dead battery? We're all kind of like dead batteries, need a little boost. See, you see, wow, look at this person, got a lot of energy talking about Krishna, asking questions about Krishna, answering them, chanting Krishna's name. Oh, very energizing. So the human being, unless he is fast asleep at night, he is busy with questions and answers. The businessmen in the market are busy with questions and answers. And so also the lawyers in the court, and the students in the schools and colleges, the legislators in the parliament are also busy with questions and answers. You know, the thing about the dark world, you can have a lot of questions, but the answers are hard to come by, especially if they're about the government. If you have any questions about the government out there, try to get answers. Yeah. You get a lot of speculations, or a lot of people that dig, and they come up with the answers. But it's all about the material world. See, the stuff going on in the dark place. If you're around persons who are awakened spiritually, then you will develop this urge to seek after the eternal truth. Just naturally, you will experience the enlightenment of that. Yeah, the enlivenment is so much more enlivening. So Krishna is our most intimate master, friend, father, or son, and object of conjugal love. Forgetting Krishna, we have created so many objects of questions and answers, but none of them are able to give us complete satisfaction. Okay? So, this is what people don't know. It's that it's our spiritual form and related to the Lord, where He's our intimate friend, He's our beloved, He's our master. And we're looking for that, but we don't know. We're looking in the wrong direction. Okay? So that's the idea. You have a spiritual master, is they understand these topics and they point us in the direction of transcendence. Wake up your relationship with the eternal Father, like Jesus wanted people. Oh, my Father, your Father. He said to his disciples, my Father and our Father. See, we're all meant to be. We need Big Brother. Did you notice the government's talking about Big Brother more? I heard the government actually say, hey, listen to your Big Brother. See, they would say, listen to us. We're your authorities. See? So how would you like to have a big brother that is basically a spiritually awakened person? See, well, hey, listen here, I'll connect you with your Father. That's our work here, is to connect people. Marry them off to Krishna, because that's the way He works. I don't know why people have a problem with this, They say, man, the way the Lord works spiritually is He gives, when you're ready to be delivered, He gives you a bona fide spiritual master. They say He's the big brother, man, to help you out in the world. How like these communist types, the Biden, they want to be the big brother, They want you to, Well, hey man, you should listen. We want more, don't you? We need more government. You need more governing. See, this is a way out. This is very practical. If anybody you want out of this, Big Brother is out there. They want to give you more government. Be governed by materially motivated persons that are in the darkness, and your result is going to be unhappy. It's going to be curses and unhappiness. See, so the spiritual master is like very fatherly too, in a sense. Is, hey, we would like to give you freedom and not slavery. Want to set you free to be as free as the Guru is. See, I'm free in this relationship with Krishna. You can see some are advanced in their devotional worship of the transcendental form of the Lord, and they're free in their relationship with God. You can see they have the symptoms of being liberated souls. But we're not liberated on our own. We need help. We need the Parampara system. Okay? It's a system of delivering people. See, in this system comes the scriptures, the knowledge, the transcendental knowledge, in relationship and in distinguished from material knowledge. To be Big Brother and not a very good Big Brother. Yeah. So that's just because it's a reflection, Amy and everybody. The material government is a reflection of the Lord's true way. See? So because here you also have Big Brother. Big Brother is the bona fide spiritual master. See, the thing is, ultimately, you don't want to rebel against the spiritual master, the Big Brother here. It's the rebellion, from people are rebelling against the Big Brother of the government. They don't want it. But unless you accept the Big Brother of the bona fide spiritual master, you cannot be sovereign. You cannot pull it off, this sovereignty or this being a libertarian completely. See? No, your spiritual body has to be activated. So Big Brother or the spiritual master helps in that activation process. Okay? And also protects, just like the government wants to protect its citizens. Well, Big Brother spiritually, the governor, they're being governed by the spiritual master too. But the governing is not like a draconian thing per se. It's just following the process. Hearing talks about Krishna from a authorized person, and not just anybody. See, people think, "Whoa, why is this Gohari telling us not to go to listen to Meena or somebody else that left? Why is he doing like this? I want to rebel against that." That's what we have basically going here. Well, only because it puts you in trouble. Only because you'll inherit the offenses that these people are got. They got some unclarity in their minds. You'll inherit that, and then you will be contaminated. So it's not advisable to do that. Okay? So that's the governing. But a person that is in the process, you become self-governing at a certain point. At a certain point, you're self-governing. Well, how does that work? You govern yourself like this? No, the self governs you, and it's good. It's wonderful. The self, the truth, the name of God, Radha and Krishna, devotion to Krishna becomes your governing principle. Okay, that's called freedom. Okay? Coming to the true master, the master that does us good forever, liberates us. Yeah, I mean, it's only here to set you free. You can see what's beautiful here is people are being set free pretty quick. You can see, look at devotees that are getting this ecstatic worship. They're really being sovereign and set free. They have real freedom, real happiness, real spiritual emotions. It heals how material. I see that. I met somebody today that was very emotionally kind of like crippled. You could see it. I could see it. And I was thinking, poor thing, wounded person. See, but this is the medicine. You can transform that. The Maya wounds us just naturally. It makes us, weakens us. It makes us attached emotionally to dead things. Things are not alive. To objects, to wealth, to money, to nation, to government, to the governor. Please. You ever see how people are really loyal to the government? It's there. You can see, and the government has motivation is the problem. So it never ends well. Never works well. Krishna is our most intimate master, friend, Father, sweet. So if we have to complete satisfaction, we must take the questions and answers about Krishna. Okay, so if we are to have complete satisfaction, we must take to the questions and answers about Krishna. And so again, this is called what they call sadhu sangha in our line. You could call it church. You can call it temple. We're worshiping together as a group. And then there's questions and answers about the Supreme Lord. Okay? There's chanting here. And so when that takes root, oh yeah, that's really nice. I like to be around devotees discussing the absolute truth. You feel the enlightenment. See, this is great, man. This is very hard to come by on your own. It's just you got to just catch it like a virus by being around people who have it. Why don't you listen there and not sit there and type and like distract everybody there? I mean, she's sitting there looking. Hey, listen. You are listening. Okay. Do you have to comment every two milliseconds? Okay. Because Srimad-Bhagavatam. Yeah. See, we can derive the highest satisfaction only by reading and hearing this transcendental literature. One should learn the Srimad-Bhagavatam and make an all-around solution to all problems pertaining social, political, and religious matters. Isn't that great? That's why I love this, man. It's so practical. I mean, in this talk, if you really probably should go over it again, you can see there's solutions to how to deal with this world. Practical. How to understand what is of real value, what is of the most value, what is the highest satisfaction, and you start to feel. You actually start to experience experiential, just simply by these discussions. Yeah, it's all about the things you use when shouting at the football players. All right, what else here? So, you know what? I think I'm going to stop here. Instead of, I think I say I just have to stop for a while. I might continue doing this a lot, but I'm not going to overdo all the time. So we'll stop here and let these two over there in UK get some sleep, so they can be ready for the morning class. All right, thank you, Amy. And who else is here? Whoever else is here, I know. Okay, who else? Janaki. Yeah, Janaki's here. Karuna, River. Yeah. So thank you all for coming, and we'll see you tomorrow.